Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Gina Barrett from the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm here with David Lynch from Phillips 66. David, thank you for being with us today as part of the Career Journeys video series.
Happy to.
Well, we're very happy to have you tell us a little bit about your career path and how you started out as a pilot.
So I was one of those kids that was just always fascinated with airplanes. My dad was interested in them, so I was around them. We went to air shows. We had books in the house and magazines in the house focused on airplanes. And so I don't know that there was ever a moment that I decided it's what I wanted to do. It just was always there. And I was very fortunate that I was able to pursue it professionally and got to do it in a variety of ways. I was actually never a commercial pilot, but I did fly professionally. So there's lots of segments to the aviation industry. You might fly as a civilian in general aviation, in military aviation. Commercial aviation is typically describes airline operations and airline pilots. And I never flew airliners, but I did fly small planes as a civilian. I flew military aircraft as an Air Force pilot. So across all those different segments, some things always ring true if you're a pilot. You kind of start your day thinking about the weather, and you're monitoring the weather, and you're very weather focused because that's a big driver of safety and your ability to conduct your mission, whatever kind of mission you're flying. So you're working on the weather and weather forecasts, where you're at and where you're going to be, and in between, and then you're planning your flight. You're executing your flight, and often after a flight, you've got significant post-flight activities. You're securing the aircraft. You're making sure anybody that needs to be briefed on the results gets that information, and so your day revolves around getting ready for, conducting, and then wrapping up after a flight operation.
Can you tell us how you kind of morphed into the position that you're in right now in your career path?
I was, first an inexperienced civilian pilot and then a military pilot. That led to, when I left the Air Force, jobs both in the aviation industry, airport operations and charter flight operations, things like that. But ultimately, I joined Phillips 66, the energy company that I work for now. My first job with them 25 years ago was in sales, but all of our sales representatives in that part of the business were also pilots because we were selling aviation fuel to airports. We all flew company airplanes for business travel. So all of our sales reps were pilots. And I wound up joining an energy company, flew in that capacity for a number of years, but then other opportunities presented themselves, other ways to advance in the company in management and doing things that didn't directly involve sales or flying, so that for the last 10 years or so, I've not touched an airplane, and I do things with technology and websites and customer service and things that I never anticipated, but draw back on that business degree that I got. Kind of all comes full circle, where I was able to enjoy being a pilot, but also had opportunities to explore other things that developed over time. Get a college degree or some other vocational training so that you can pursue in parallel becoming a pilot and doing something else. Because to be a pilot, you have to have an accompanying medical certificate that you can't exercise the privileges of your flying license if you don't have a current medical status that allows you to do so. And so illness or an accident could cause you to not be able to retain that medical certificate. And all of a sudden, at any age, you could have thought you were going to be a professional pilot, and then you suddenly aren't. And I actually know several people, both in the military and outside, who were active professional pilots. One guy had a racquetball accident, wasn't wearing goggles, got hit in the eye. All of a sudden, he's not a pilot, right?
What are some of the things that really make you good in your position that you're in?
When you're a pilot, there is a premium on kind of multitasking being able to, plan a flight and then conduct that flight, especially as things change, because, most plans aren't carried out to the letter of, the preparation. Something is different. Something about the equipment, the weather, the destination, the people involved. There's a lot of variables. And so keeping track of all that, making changes in real time as needed so that you can successfully complete that mission, finding a way to successfully accomplish the goal, regardless of what you encounter. Those are the things that lead to success. And after you leave flying, or if you leave flying, they're the same things that make you good in business and maybe make you good in life, right? Being adaptable, not giving up on your goals, seeing things through to the end.
If you're a high school student now and you're interested in this, what can they be doing right now to maybe get them ready? Are there extracurricular activities they should be looking at? Or are there different courses in school that they should be thinking about taking?
If you think you might be pursuing a military path, thinking about some of those science and math background items that might prepare you for a college degree in engineering or those fields. But if you're not ready to jump into that deep water, consider taking some private pilot ground school courses. They're available online. Sometimes there's a fee. Sometimes you can get that content for no cost if you're inventive in where you search, or go to the library, check out old-fashioned hard copy training materials and books around private pilot ground school. That will start to let you know what the level of detail and rigor that might go into earning a pilot certificate looks like. And there is, some hard work. There's some knowledge you have to master and some things you have to memorize, and you can do that very inexpensively and start to get a feel for, do I think I'm going to like this? And that you can do all that sitting at a desk without spending any money. To take it one step further, there are opportunities to probably get an introductory flight lesson or an orientation flight. Sometimes you can do that for free. The EAA, Experimental Aircraft Association, has a program called Young Eagles. It's focused on taking young people flying for the first time and showing them what flying in a light airplane is like. The pilots who do they're volunteer pilots, and they do them in their own personal aircraft. And they're really focused on giving people a great introduction to what flying is like. So those are some things of maybe starting to get a feel for what the book learning is like, but coupling it with, go flying in a small plane and see if you like it, because all of your initial training is going to be in small airplanes until you build up experience and move on to bigger airplanes. And so you could really stick your toe in the water without spending any money and start to answer that question. Yeah, I do want to be a pilot, right?
Is there any other advice that you could think of that we didn't cover? Anything else that you'd like to tell someone who's watching this video?
Don't quit. Don't give up. Set those smaller goals and accomplish them, and then move on. It can be daunting. Depending on how you pursue this, it can be expensive. If you're paying for the training yourself versus scholarships or a military training opportunity, there could be a financial barrier. There could be a time or just, any other kind of obstacle. So work on ways to overcome them. I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. And people would say, not many people get to be an Air Force pilot, right? Of 100 people that want to, maybe one does. Well, that sounds discouraging. But I always thought, yeah, but that one guy, 100% of them got to be an Air Force pilot. How do I get to be that guy, right? So don't focus on the odds that are against you. Think of ways to stack the odds in your favor to get to do what you want to do.
Well, David, thank you so much. We really appreciate everything that you offered for us today. Some great information there. Okay.
Yep, happy to.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!